Alrighty boys, welcome back to another video, and today this is the topic we have at hand. As you can see right here by the title, what we have in Bannerlord pre-release dev diaries but not in the game by now. So this person made like a huge list of stuff that was promised and was not delivered on, and we have a lot of dev replies as well to this thread. So we're gonna read the main guy's arguments, the guy who made the thread, and then obviously read the dev responses, and I'll give my opinion in between, and we're going to go from there. I'm going to link this thread down below if you can go check it out for yourself, because we're not going to go over all of it because there's a lot of stuff listed here, and yeah, it's a lot of reading that I just, it's going to take my voice out. We're going to skim through it, we're going to go through it, and if you want to go see all the, obviously all the single points and all that, you guys can go do that for yourself. But I'm more interested to see what the dev has to say and go from there, right? Let's get right into it. Alrighty, so main post. I'm trying to figure out what Bannerlord features have been mentioned in pre-release diaries but not in the game by now. I was reviewing those pre-release diaries since I wonder how the game will be when the EA phase eventually ends. Hopefully Tailworlds will implement those features they have mentioned. I have completed my review but may have missed some points. Please point out if I missed something. One more thing to mention, I didn't include things like graphical / action system / art design / multiplayer. I mean no offense, but these parts look satisfying currently, at least for me. Not sure which subforum this thread is supposed to go. I post in both general discussion and single player subforums. Okay. Now, before we even get into it, let me just tell you a quick truth bomb about development and overall just how business works, right? In a nutshell, I'm not the smartest person that goes with it, that knows about all of it, right? But here it is. During development, stuff may be promised, stuff may be said, it might be currently worked on. But as time goes on, decisions have to be made. You need to choose route A or route B. While route A, many people might like it, route B is the one you choose because it makes the most sense in terms of development and then other features that come along with it. And obviously, you talked about option A or route A previously, as it's stated right over here, but it ended up not happening. Now, this sentence right here, hopefully Tailworlds will implement those features they have mentioned. Another truth. Any big game release, I would say at this point, I would say all, promise a lot. Obviously they promise a lot because they want it all to be there, right? But what happens usually, like I said before, decisions are made, stuff is cut out, and also stuff is added that wasn't even mentioned before. Because as development progresses, you go into these, decisions where you have to choose how you want development to go, and stuff gets thrown out, stuff gets added, and then at the end you have something. Predicting what you're gonna have as an end product, just by like every single mini feature, it's not gonna happen. You could have a scope and you could have specific big systems that you want implemented, absolutely, but small little key details and little features and stuff like that, some will be thrown out and some will be added. That's what I want to say before we read all this other stuff, because I see some of this is before 2017, which is way far away now, and again, like I said, development changes. All right, let's get to it. And by the way, before, just one more thing. Me saying all this does not mean that I'm just kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, just screw those features, I don't want them either. No. I'm pretty sure if I read through all these, I'm going to find a lot of stuff that I do want that currently isn't in the game. But unfortunately, that's just how it is. I could get upset about it. I could stay in the forums and just complain relentlessly. But that's not going to help anything. And there are a lot of people in forums who already do that. And to those people, because some of them do watch my videos, you're not helping anybody. You're not helping yourself. You're just getting angry at yourself. And there's really no reason for it. But let's move on from that. Alrighty, so we have spoiler. What is this? Prior to Steam time, Okay, so this is Jesus Christ, 2015. Dog, I'm gonna be honest with you. Some stuff that they sent in 2015, like I can't even fault them. Like, bro, that's 6 years now, to be honest with you. Well, I guess March, so it's kind of like 5 and some change. But okay, let's read it. The blog mainly talks about the negotiation panel we have. The panel is implemented, but features mentioned in this blog were not. Terms like peace treaty, ransom prisoners. Well, they're currently working on it. Again, another thing that you have to realize with a thread like this is some of these features, they might not be implemented just yet because the game's not fully out. The game didn't come out as a full game. The game came out as early access. Therefore, it is a game that's being currently worked on. So some of these features might still be added. That's still up for discussion. And obviously, we are going to get more stuff that has to do with like alliances and diplomacy that is in the works. So, obviously it's lacking right now, but it still might come. Alrighty, so, and most important, the sandbox AI can use the barter system just like the player. Okay? At least I've never seen NPCs doing that by now. You mean like towards the player? Because this could be interpreted in different ways. Like they can be doing trades, and they do trades actually now. They do share their money with other clans, let's say in their kingdom, if they're part of the same kingdom. So they do this, and they do ransom off their what's it called, their prisoners. Let's say if they catch a lord as a prisoner, if a clan under your kingdom ransoms them off, or a companion under you ransoms a prisoner he has off, you get a percentage of that money. I don't know if you've noticed that, but they do some type of trading. Is it towards the player directly? No, but in between them they do. But okay, this could be interpreted different ways though, so it depends how you will really look at it. Oh, I just clicked on that. Did not want to click on that. All of the siege weapons are placed freely by the player, so there's full control on how to assault the walls. Once the siege begins, the player can also order troops to change what they're doing on the fly throughout the battle. Okay, and then implementation of the deployment part depends on how you define place freely, or more specifically, freely. Yes, we can freely choose spots for deploying siege, but the spots are fit. Okay, look, dog. I'm gonna keep it on. I'm gonna keep it 100 stack with you. All right, big stack, big stack. You ready for the big stack? All right. You do something that how can I explain it? Okay, look, this is kind of like a back and forth I have with some people in my life, right? So I've been through certain things in my life where I know how stuff works. I've dealt with a lot of trauma, dealt a lot of very bad things. I don't really want to get into it obviously in this channel because it has nothing to really do with just me, right? But I don't stick to words too much. I don't stick to agreements too much. I know how stuff plays out. Stuff doesn't always work out. Stuff doesn't always work out like someone promised or something like. That's just, as you grow up, as you mature, you realize that's how life is. With that being said, what I tell people a lot of the times, especially when they have an argument with somebody, let's say that they, obviously love or are part of their family, they have an argument with somebody because they stick too much to words, too much to like specific words, and they let that anger build up inside of them, and then it ruins their relationship. And what I always tell people is, don't stick so much to words. Don't stick so much to just specific words. Like if you're in an argument with somebody, and but at the end of the day you love each other, right? But you're in an argument with them. At the end of the day, throw the pride aside, try to find a compromise, and go back to it. Don't stick to specific words that were said. Just keep it moving, keep it flowing. With this example right here, it kind of relates, but not really. But it is what it is, right? You're sticking to words that were said 5 years ago, very specific. Like obviously we can't place it freely, we can't put it there, but they still do a pretty good job. But you know what I'm trying to say. Like I understand what you're saying here. Like obviously you want to place it exactly here or exactly there or exactly there, but they don't let you. But at the same time, it's just like it's very nitpicky in my opinion. I think the 4 slot thing, I'm pretty sure. I don't know how to explain it. It's not that big of a deal. I don't know how else to say it. You know what I mean? I get that you might want to do that, but I promise you, if you were to do that, you would have probably put it in the same position that it's currently in. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But I get the frustration, but at the same time, it's 5 years ago, almost 6. and you know, it's a very small thing. If we're talking about like a huge thing that's not in the game, I get it, I understand, but this is very minor in my opinion. But you might disagree with me. That is what it is. But I just think that, you know, again, sticking to words from almost 5 years ago, it's kind of like you shouldn't expect word for word that that's exactly how it's going to be, because like I said, development does change. But all right, graphically, we have made a huge strides here to improve the look and feel of Calradia, though there are some significant gameplay changes evident here. Castles are now fully... This is, by the way, this is, I'm guessing, the dev statement, right? Castles are now fully integrated with villages, which means the settlement produces goods that has economic impact. The four sides of villages can all be made into different types of production. Okay, so we talked about this in a video I made literally a day ago about upgradable villages. This was talked about. This was in development, but like I stated, they made a decision and they cut it out. It's simple as that. They cut it out. They said, we're not doing it no more. It's unfortunate. I get it. Like I said before, early on, they chose Route B when everybody else wanted Route A, because Route B was going to give them a chance to continue development the way they wanted it. And that's just how it is. And I know that people are upset with it, but at the same time, it's their game. They get to make it how they want to make it. That's just the hard truth, you know. And it is what it is. You guys can call me like, oh, you're just sticking up for the this and the that. I'm just giving you the hard truth, man. It is what it is. I'm not gonna try to sugarcoat it with you. But what else we got? A village with the castle naturally more defensible. Okay, this is just talking about the upgradable villages. Okay. What else we got here? Taking the icons as an example, it is now possible to see what the village produces by looking at the icon. Well, yeah. Well, since this part was cut, obvious. Okay, dog. Come on, man. If okay, so what does he say? Also in the same video, the building management system free this, and that. So he states it was discarded right here, but then he continues on the same subject for like 6 more. Dog, come on, man. Like this. Okay, let's see what else he puts in. It's just a lot of nitpicking, and there's a lot of issues that I expected to see here, like let's say feasts or something, stuff like that you could have put in here that you know could have been way, I don't know. Okay, let's keep reading. If you're an army commander, you can click on the portrait to talk with the Lord and give them a task to perform, such as scout ahead, bring food. This is actually in the works. Giving your companions and lords stuff to do, that is actually in the works. That is coming out in the next couple of patches. That has been confirmed. Alternative for a player to appoint lots of companions to lordships. That is probably not going to be implemented. That is probably a feature that has been dropped, I'll be honest with you. Prices of goods significantly rise as materials begin to run low, and eventually defenders can be starved into submission. In a way, what does he say? This may not be able to be defined as a feature. Just wanted to mention it here. In the current version of the game, this is nearly impossible to happen. False. The first part, where obviously if it runs low, the price goes up. That happens in the game, and you can starve in a way. It's just not this. I get what he's saying. Okay, let me. It's half false. Okay. They can be in a way starved, but just not in like the dramatic way where everybody dies in the village or everybody dies in the castle. So I get what his point is. The second one is kind of like iffy. First part does happen. Okay, I'll give it to you. Players can enter a town and talk around to find their preferred location for their business from a number of different rentable buildings. Not only does this help you achieve our aim in improving the overall immersion of the game, but also allows us to expand on productive enterprise as a gameplay mechanic as a whole. Yeah, that's not implemented in that same way. Obviously, there are fixed locations, and talking doesn't really help with that. So I do agree that's not really there. Okay. Just kind of same thing with the workshops. I'm trying to just keep going. I'm not trying, like I said, I'm not trying to do all of this. I still want to get to the dev replies. Can we still build castles and villages? Bro, it's the same thing, man. Oh my goodness. Dog, come on, man. In this screen, you lend your support to one of the clans to become the leader of the faction. Faction leaders are able to assign objectives to the armies through this tab. Again, this is being worked on right now. Where you're able to assign tasks to clans and stuff. That this is being worked on. What do we got? Massive increase in settlements that we have in Bannerlord. We felt that having to micromanagement settlements all the way down to the village level would, over time. Bro, I'm gonna keep it a stack with you, dog, because it looks like I'm coming towards the end. You could have put a lot of other stuff in this, like, you know, but I guess he's talking about stuff that they talked about. Okay, it kind of makes sense. Okay, it kind of makes sense. But you're sticking on the two subjects of, you know, villages being able to be upgraded, which, you know, it's already been kind of, you even said it's been discarded, and you keep talking about it, but I guess, bro. Finally, the game tracks more major events, and you can remind the countess that the king you want to betray. Okay, that's obviously not in the game yet, but it's being worked on. Okay, let's keep it going. Trying to find something good. You can attack the besiegers right away, and in general, the forces in the town will sally out to join the fight, and together you may hopefully overwhelm the attackers. I've seen them join the fight. It happens very rarely, though. I'll keep it a stack with you. It happens very, very rarely, but this does happen sometimes. One time I did try to attack, what's it called? No, I did. I was besieging somebody, and the army attacked, right? And then when I looked at the numbers, I saw that the whole garrison somehow joined the fight, and it was literally, because I had, like, I think about, I'll say 700, 800 people. They had a little bit more, and then the garrison was like 400 plus people, and they all joined too, and I was like, what in the world? You know what I mean? But it does happen. It's just super rare. But all right. Overall, I get it. There's some frustrations. There's some stuff that has been discarded. I would like to see it in the game as well. Don't think just because, you know, the way I worded it that I don't want to. Of course I want to see it. You know what I mean? It sounds very cool to be able to upgrade your, you know, to be able to do all these extra features. Of course, don't get it wrong. But yeah, let's see what the devs have to say about it. Alrighty, so a player asks a question and dev responds. This is the player talking right here. If the AI goes on for longer, I really hope Terrorworlds has a change of heart and realizes their fan base wants more complex and risky things. Mexico said he's happy with the game and it won't be a 95 plus rating game, but I'm absolutely sure if it can be if Terrorworlds dare to develop it with more passion and take risks. No complexity for complexity's sake, but to make a good game become legendary. Dog. I hate being the bearer of bad news, man. Look, I hate being that guy, but like, dog, they a business, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how else to explain it. I get it, you know what I mean? And I promise you, like, I'm pretty sure that this developer, his hands are kind of tied, you know what I mean? And there's some stuff he has a deciding role in, and there's some stuff he doesn't, and that's just how it works, you know? It's a group of people, it's not just one. But of course, I would love to see them try something super risky and stuff, but you know, I think if we're being honest, I think they do have passion. I think they do have passion for, you know, obviously game design and what they're doing. They very active, especially this developer. He's very active, you know, on the forums in terms of making changes. I think it's there. I think it's just, again, not what people want to see in terms of what I like to call the shiny stuff, the stuff that's, you know, in the forefront, stuff you can see, stuff you can get in the game. That's the stuff people want. But, you know, there's a lot of other stuff that goes into making a game like this, you know, great. And I think they are working on it. Obviously, people want to see it done in 2 days, but guess what? That's just not how it works. You know, this stuff takes a very long time. If you ever even thought of like, you know, every kid has thought about making like their own video game, right? Who hasn't? Every person who grew up playing video games, they're like, oh, one day when I get older, I'm gonna make my own video game. And like, if you actually do the research on that, not just watch like 1 or 2 YouTube videos, not do that. I mean, like, actually do the research, actually see the codes of like actual games that have been out there. You know what I'm saying? Even small indie games, like just the code and the time to make all that, and just like all the thought and stuff that has to go into it. Because you, in a way, well, you don't have to make it from scratch. There's different stuff you can use now. But at the same time, it's just, yo, listen, it takes years with like teams of like hundreds of people, you know what I mean? And I thought to myself when I was a kid, oh, me by myself, I'll make it. That'll take me a couple of years. That'll be fun. No, dog, that's not how it works. You know what I mean? That's just, hey, again, I would love to see it, but that's life. It is what it is. But all right, let's read what the dev has to say. I did not say I am happy with the game overall. I try to be happy otherwise. Being always upset / worried reduces your effectiveness. True, big truer, big truer, big truer. This is why I say to the people who still complain on the forum every day, it's not good for your health, man. Do better. All right. Game has more potential, of course, and I accept game has missing features and cannot use its potential fully. I also said I prefer older design, which has better village management. If the selection was chose, game would be a 95 plus rating game, but it was a risky design and needed more / better work power to implement. Also, that design was mine and why I prefer a new design. But one day that design is scrapped. We did this giving up / changing ideas a lot of times during early to mid development and moved on with the new design. Again, like I stated, they had Route A, they had Route B. And unfortunately, a lot of people wanted Route A, but Route B was chosen. What can you do? What can you do in this scenario as a dev? True, I have no control over these main decisions. Bro, hey, I be out here speaking. I be spitting. Listen. So if you cannot change these main decisions, skeleton of a game, what you can do is try to make selected designs as good as possible. Actually, you can clearly see sometimes I am complaining about something like you, but trying to improve game and given limits. There it is. You know, obviously he doesn't agree with everything, but he's, you know, trying to make the parts that are there the best that they can be. So it is what it is. About council thing, it is not my decision to, but have to do some optimization. It's been 1 to 2 weeks in January because it is also wanted and is also reasonable too. The game will be released to also consoles one day. Again, underlying, I prefer spending time on improving game until PC version is nearly finished. You should understand we are doing what is decided mostly. Again, it's a business. That's just how it works. You know, it's the unfortunate case, and you know, I know a lot of younger people want like this great stuff to always happen, and then just like, you know, like all this, like, you know what I mean, like the best game and all that. But look what happened to Cyberpunk. That's tough. You know what I mean? I don't know what else to say. Like, I think that just speaks for itself, you know? Like, you wish for the best, but sometimes I don't even know how to explain it. It's just, you'll know when you're older. When you're older, you'll know. Alright, so, player responds, this is very bad news indeed. Wait a minute, what? Oh my god, here we go, brother, here we go. So this guy really mentioned, since PC version is nearly finished. Did people forget what happened to Warband? Did y'all just forget? What happened, bro? What happened, bro? Did y'all forget? Did they stop working on the game when the game was released? Did they stop working on Warband when it was released? Did some of the best parts in Warband not come out after as DLC? Do people forget these things? Bro, this is what I'm talking about, bro. Look what he says right here. I try to be happy, otherwise being always upset / worried reduces your effectiveness. Dog, you read this. You read this because you copied this last part, but you read this. Come on, man. What you doing, man? Let's read what he has to say. This is very bad news indeed. If the PC version is almost finished and resources are being diverted to the console port, our only hope is that mods will eventually provide the missing features and make the game what it's supposed to be. You see what I'm saying, bro? Stop sticking to words. I'm telling you, stop doing it. A lot of people do it, and they gotta stop that. You know what I mean? You have to start learning how to kind of go with the flow. Don't take stuff too seriously all the time, and just do what you gotta do, because this, like, nitpicking and Jesus Christ, I don't even want to get into it. Oh, yeah. But all right. And again, before he responds, because I know exactly how he's going to respond at this point, he didn't mean it in this way. He didn't mean that as soon as this is finished, because it's nearly finished, they're going to divert all to the console port. Bro, come on, that's not what he meant. You know that's not what he meant. But you're still trying. Okay, let me stop molding, man. I'm sorry. Listen, let's move on. Let's see what he has to say. I use wrong word. Improving game since PC version is nearly finished should be improving game until PC version is nearly finished. So game is not finished, of course, and we will continue developing game. It's only 2 weeks I need to spend for a console optimization, and other devs are in a similar condition too. Most devs are still working on PC version. There it is. Like I said, again, dog. Let's keep it moving. All right. You have another player asking, I think many people are aware of this in terms of I have no control over main decisions. Okay, so that's developer said I have no control of main decisions in this big post. And then the player responds, I think many people are aware of this, or at least they should be. They're not. They're really not. On God, they're not. But, like I said, as you get older, you start to realize how this stuff kind of works, right? I know there are some out there who are blaming the devs for decisions, but at the end, it's not devs that are taking those decisions. However, I would like to ask, what if there is something the majority of players support, like the upgrade feature? Would that then get considered by responsible people even though it's discarded before? Is there any example of it? I'm asking this because if Tailwords is leaving things as never look back, or do we just do what we decide our feature cut off from now, then there's literally no point in discussing things and making... That's not true. Okay, so I'm going to answer before he answers it. I don't think this person's coming from a bad intent. He's just asking you a general question. There's been plenty of times where a suggestion has been made, has a lot of backing, and then they said, listen, we're going to look into it again, and then we see it a couple patches down the line. That has happened before. That's not what he meant by that. He just means like there's some decisions where, a higher up person makes it, and that's just, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Can it be changed later on? Yes, of course. But for that time being, that's the direction they're going, because guess what? Whoever the boss is, whoever the main person is in the group of developers, or whoever makes the decisions, that's just, it is what it is. You know what I mean? You got to follow that. You know what I mean? That's just how it goes. That's how work goes. And since you were saying PC version is nearly finished, I think the feature suggestion ship is already sailed. Okay, again, dog, sticking to words, man. That's not what he meant. But okay, let's see what he has to say. I will try to make a proper design, something like increasing number of projects, especially new projects affecting bounded villages. For example, saving them to be rated consequently. Okay, it should be easy to implement to get approved for things better for villages / castles, and go with that suggestion. We can discuss in the forum too. Then we'll see what will happen. Okay, making sense. Okay. Then we have, I think this is the last reply. This video is getting really long, so let's just get it over with. Okay. Then we have another player. Thanks again for the reply, man. Love your work and passion for this game. I absolutely understand this, and that's why I'm saying that I hope Tailworlds itself, the upper manager, changes heart to allow the devs like you to really make the game shine as it deserves. Just want to say that everyone on Earth except your bosses also prefer your 4-slot system. It would make the game much better and villages much more useful, but alas, nothing we can do about it, right? I'm always around the forum sharing feedback because I truly love this game. And okay. He loves it. Okay. Alright. Dev responds, the design was basic of game. It's changed lots of times in remaining game build over a totally different design, so it is impossible to return something like this now. So we will try to make the current design better now. By the way, until a design is implemented, anyone cannot know which one is better. So maybe our current design is the right choice. I cannot be sure. I'm just saying I prefer the older one. Maybe if we ask everyone which one you prefer, it can be 90% older design, but this also does not prove anything. Yes, because the design's not out and there's no actual data on it. So there you go. Because voters did not play both versions. Yep. See? To be sure which is better, only ways to play both versions. Anyway, let's give up being pessimistic and try to make current design better. True. No need to be down. Keep it going and try to make it great. There it is. And again, if you take anything from this video, don't take words to your heart too much. Don't nitpick. Just go with the flow. Have a positive attitude, and that's the best you can do. But yeah, got a little riled up in this video, but it is what it is. I'm gonna speak my truth always. But let me know what you guys think. Ask me any questions, any concerns, and like always, stay safe.